Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Paula. Welcome back to my channel if you are listening to this on there, and welcome back to my blog if you are listening to this on there. So in today's episode of SheHH, episode 4, we have Risha Leondra. Risha is a digital marketing expert, specifically working within the Christian music, Christian hip hop industry. She's also a photographer, does digital branding, and runs a creative podcast. So all of our previous episodes have been with artists themselves, so it's quite interesting speaking to someone who's usually behind the scenes. She gives a lot of insight about the link between the marketing side of things as well as the music. This is a brilliant episode and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Can we start with you maybe introducing who you are, what you do, especially for people who may not know?
Yes, so I'm Risha Chesterfield on the internet. I'm known as Risha Leondra. I am a digital marketing specialist, specifically working with independent artists, and even more specifically, working with artists in the Christian hip hop space. And I also have a podcast, 222, which you can listen to pretty much on any platform. I'm a photographer and I love Jesus. So, yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what I do and who I am.
Nice. Well, we love to hear that we love Jesus bit. So
Yes.
So let us know a little bit about your creative journey. So where did you start and how did you get to what you do now?
I guess probably photography was actually if we way back up, I've always listened to music and always loved music. When I was in high school, all my friends were in choir. I wasn't, but I was always around. And I was teacher's assistant for my choir class. So I was always around music, but just didn't necessarily play it. And so I just knew I loved it. And I knew at some point in life, I wanted to be a part of it. I guess back in 2010, I picked up a camera and started taking photos and seeing how much I really liked that. Probably around 2014, 2015, that was where the music and photography kind of started taking more of a precedence in my life. So with the photography thing, Instagram came along and that kind of really helped spur me in my photography endeavors, because it was there's all these other people that really like taking photos and not just be that they're creative with it. So that really helped spawn that side of me. But then when it comes to the music, I went to college for audio production.
Oh, nice.
So so learning the ins and outs of how to create or how to record music, how to mix and master and things of that sort. So that was fun. But I live in Music City, which is Nashville. So everybody and their brother is a artist or a songwriter or has a recording studio. So the market is saturated. And so I was just Lord, I don't know how I'm going to get into this, but I want to get into this somehow. And around 2014, I just started researching. First, I started off with Gawvi and Medina and producers in the space, just seeing, okay, they work with Reach Records, that's cool, and then just kind of diving even deeper. Then I finally found, I had listened to Canon quite a bit, figured out RMG, Reflection Music Group, and started researching them, and reached out to them on Twitter and was like, hey, I would love to help you guys somehow. Long story short, ended up interning there for some months, and then that eventually turned into a full-time job.
Amazing.
So I was there for 5 years. A lot of insight on marketing, and that shifted my mindset to the marketing, because they were just we need help promoting Facebook, the shows on Facebook. And so that was really the start of the digital marketing aspect for me back in 2014. So that turned into full-on marketing plan rollouts for albums, branding for artists. And so that built there. And at the end of, at the beginning of 2019, this year, I decided to take my talents on my own and become an independent consultant for artists in this space to just help them out. And because I'm not an artist, so I can't do too much with it. So it blesses me to be able to help others that are in this space. Maybe they're just not, their strong suit isn't marketing, or maybe they just want to get their music further, or they just have no idea about branding or things of that sort. I just want to help bring wisdom and knowledge to those areas so they can be the full package of, you've got dope music, that's great, but let's also to make sure that the right people hear that notice.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, amazing. That sounds so good. Yeah, I remember actually following you when you were working at Reflection Music Group. I think that's around the time I started to discover what you were doing. And it was funny because around that time was when I started like looking into digital marketing. So I was like crazy following just like other Christians that were doing creative stuff as well. So that was really cool to see.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you mentioned that you like worked with a lot of artists. You're in a male-dominated industry, and a lot of your clients are guys. So, what's that kind of like as a woman?
Probably not as difficult as some people may think. I just my nature in general. I feel like I'm more so of that. I'm not necessarily that girly girl kind of that. Just not that kind of girl. Like I love sports. I'm not saying that you can't be a girl and love sports, but anyways.
I get you.
I love hip hop, like I love like that kind of stuff. I just love, and so it's not hard for me to get into conversation with guys and it not be weird. Working with men has been, it's been fine. As in, like one, I've learned to position myself as somebody that is one, I know what I'm talking about, and two, I am not going to be ran over. So I've learned that, and I'm still learning that. And so just positioning myself as like, hey, I know who I am and I know whose I am. So I don't care if you're male or female, like, no one's going to run over me.
It's true.
But also, when it comes to certain things, like I think the biggest thing is that I'm going to present myself as a Christian. So I'm not going to put myself in weird spaces where, a lot of the guys that I work with are married. And so I'm just not going to put myself in weird spaces or, when it's, it's 9 o'clock, all right, I got to go. Like I'm not just going to put myself in weird spaces where there's going to be any questions. And I think for me, that's one of the biggest things is like, I love like the guys that I work with, and I love the friendships that we develop, because we're not just artists and digital marketer working together. It's like I eventually build friendships with these people.
Amazing.
And I think that is it's a great thing, but it's also too like there's certain boundaries that we gotta have, and that's okay. We don't make it weird. And then also too, just when it comes from the standpoint of like we had that big thing of CHH Sexism and all that kind of stuff. And that was something that I really had not experienced, just because my camp has always just been so. Like the people that I have worked with at that point always just been so like me being a woman just never was really a factor. It was just like, you do great work, great, let's work together. And the only times things would come up would be like, oh, we've got to get an extra room for Risha, and it not be anything weird. So my experiences have always mostly just been great, but I hear the stories of my sisters that have experienced those things, and so I've just shifted myself to champion them, because I know a lot of times the situations like aren't as great as what I've been in, and so I want to be someone that's just an advocate for women in the CHH space. One, there's not a ton of us.
Exactly.
It's already a small niche, and then to be a woman in it, it's even smaller. So, we need to be able to support each other. I guess probably about a year or so ago, I just created a group on GroupMe, which is now on Telegram. And it's just women in CHH where we can come and encourage each other and just, help each other out, and not just be a, hey, check out my music kind of thing. We get together online once a month and do like a virtual hangout, and just so we can like help build each other up and build community within this community. Because if I'm somebody that's looking for beats and I know a woman producer, cool, like let's elevate each other. Instead of just going, always going to the guys. Not saying that we can't, but I think if we can start building us up, that definitely would be a benefit to this community. So I know a lot of times it's like you're looking to somebody else to elevate you, but I'm all about like elevating yourself, and we're God's children, so
exactly.
He's definitely going to elevate us. So yeah, that may have been a long answer to the question.
No, you answered it well. One thing you mentioned that I just kind of like, it pinged in my mind was around that time with the whole thing on Twitter and like social media where everyone was talking about CHH sexism, CHH being very male dominated and stuff. And I think at that time that actually was like a wake up call for me. It wasn't something I'd ever thought about, but then I was like, wait, that's true. Like a lot of the artists that I like know and love are men. I'm like, wait, are there no women doing this rapping thing? And it did make me like actively keep an eye out for like women, and then eventually it led to this series which God planted in my head like literally half a year ago, but it's taken me so long to finally be obedient and run with it. And so thank you. Thank you. Honestly, I just hope it inspires other female artists to just kind of be like, keep going. People will eventually see you doing your thing and won't really put you in any kind of box of, or you have to be this kind of artist or you have to have this kind of sound. And so I think that's part of why I started this. And yeah, it did kind of be sourced from that whole thing where we finally woke up and realized that a lot of this industry that we like know and love is very male dominated, which isn't a problem until it becomes oppressive. And so I think now that I see so many women just being at the forefront, like I'm going to mention them as many times as I can, One Day and Cass, but just seeing them do their thing has really, really inspired this whole series. So
and it did the same for me. It just opened my eyes to like, oh, I haven't even thought about that. But one, if that ever happened to me, like, thank you, Lord, for shielding me. But also two, thank you, Lord, for bringing this to my attention so I can be an advocate in this area. So yeah, it definitely was. I'm glad that it happened. Some people feel differently, but I think it's always good just to hear like those. We need those wake up calls. Yeah, and that definitely was one.
100%. Yeah, so like moving on to the next question, I just wanted to ask, like, what are you passionate about and how do you think it influences or inspires what you do?
Good question.
Thank you very much.
So I love helping people. And, right now that's in the form of marketing and getting your voice out there. But one thing that the Lord has really shown me, and this has just been building up over years, is I'm just a lover of story. Like I love hearing people's stories. I love how we as people, like our main form of communication is story. And so how in our stories we can either be drawn into someone or repelled against someone. And so I've just fallen in love with storytelling, and that's something that I'm very passionate about, and how I can correlate that into marketing plans and branding for artists or for small businesses or whoever. But just how we can craft those stories to bring in the people that that you want to hear your music or to buy your product or whatever it may be. But also too, that goes along with the photography thing of capturing that moment, what was happening around that photo or what was going along with that. And so story is definitely something that I'm passionate about. It's definitely taken me on a path of different type of marketing. So I'm super excited about next year because I feel like I'm about to like I'm just on the cusp of what the Lord is about to just deliver when it comes to like ideas and stuff. So I'm super excited about that. But yeah, story is definitely something that is inspiring every aspect of what I do when it comes to, even from work to what I wear to I turn 30 next year. And so it's just like, okay, what's the story that's going along with that? Like it's just very, very much playing into a lot of my life right now. So
yeah, you mentioned like God has big plans for you next year, and I've been seeing all your tweets and I've been like, yes, girl. So what can we look forward to seeing from you next year?
First time I'm saying this on a public platform, I am joining Good City. So I am currently moving down to Florida to join Butta P and to work with her and the artists that we work with to just start bringing my talents there and building that platform. But the Lord's just doing a whole lot, just showing me that He has major plans for me, and I'm excited to go and join this group and join along with what they've got going on. And it just, when things align, it's really good. So
that's so exciting.
I love seeing how the Lord is working and just putting me in places that I'm just like, Lord, you're just so cool. So He gets all the glory and all the honor. And So yeah, be looking for amazing content there. Good City, the artist Gawvi. We've also got a Klesso, Kanata.
Oh,
so
wow.
be on the lookout for all of that.
That's so great. Oh, yeah, God is good.
Yeah, God is really good. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, that's so great. I'm so glad to hear that. I mean, when you were dropping all these tweets, I was like, something fire is coming. Something fire is coming. Yeah, I was just going to ask you, like, what's the best bit of advice you think you've gotten so far? Maybe in your professional life, in your personal life, whenever.
I'll do two. So professional life, I would say create your own opportunities. A lot of times, we're waiting for the opportunity to come to us. Oh man, when artists are like, "Oh, y'all are asleep on me," that drives me crazy. Because it's like, people are like, what do they need to be awakened to? Like, there's that other side of that question or of that statement. So I think a lot of times it's like when you hear people complain about that, it's like, okay, well, are you creating your own opportunities? And I know for me, like, I want to do the same. If I need to pivot, I'll pivot. If I need to, create my own event, I'll create my own event, but not just waiting for opportunities to come to my door. Because the more that you work on your own thing, the more that they'll come.
Yeah.
So when it comes to personal, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who's actually an artist as well. His name is YB. He had just said this statement, and it has literally just shifted so much in my life. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but he was just like, the wood is in the room. Whatever I'm looking to build or create, like instead of looking for or looking at the things that I don't have and the things that could be better and the things that I'm just waiting for, whatever, like, what do I have right now? What do I have that I can use right now to build what I'm looking? And I guess that kind of ties along with the first piece of advice. But yeah, what do I have right now that I can tie, that I can build, that I can use, instead of just always like peering out the window, like the wood is in the room.
Wow.
So use that. And the Lord will supply as you keep building. So those two things.
No, that's actually amazing. That's so helpful for creatives all over. It's just a case of like, a lot of the time we feel like we can't do the next thing because we don't have what we need. But have we actually looked at what we have in our hands? Have we tried first? Have we planned first or anything? I know I've been guilty of that. So yeah, wow.
Oh yeah. We all have, like, and even just looking at, like, I'm looking at my computer right now. Like, there's so much that I can do on this thing. Like, versus, like, I need a newer one, I need a bigger one. Like, no, like, I need to use this one to this fullest capacity. And then I know the Lord will provide for whatever's next. So, good shift in perspective that's really helped me here the last couple of months. So, I hope that helps y'all too.
For sure. Oh, amazing. I've been really enjoying speaking to you. I have my final question, which is kind of the classic question I tend to end interviews on. What would you like your legacy to be? What would you like people to think of when they hear your name in the future?
Well, thank you so much for this interview. It's been great. I would say, at the end of the day, when everything is all said and done, I would like for people to know that she loved God to the fullest. Everything that she did pointed back to Him. The Lord has given me this year as well too. My life mantra is whatever for the whosoever. I'm going to do whatever for the whosoever. Yeah, I definitely want to say, like, I want people to say she did whatever she needed to do to make sure that whosoever knew the Lord. So that's, at the end of the day, if that can be said, then the job is done. But, and he'll, I know that he's definitely still teaching me and I'm learning so much in that, but whatever for the whosoever.
Wow, I love to hear that. I've never actually heard that phrase before, though, whatever for the whosoever, but I'm definitely going to be taking that one too, whatever for the whosoever. Wow.
Yeah. I wish I could remember the scripture. It was preached at church a few weeks ago, and the Lord just dropped that in my spirit and was just like, that's what I need you to do. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, whatever it takes for the whosoever will be done in His name.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
God is good.
God is so good, honestly. That's just so great to hear. The reason I just kind of went quiet a bit is because it links to something that was said in Cass's interview literally a couple of days ago. And that's why I'm just like, Lord, I hear you. I am listening loud and clear. Thank you. So
Yeah. Don't you love it? Like, he'll be like, yeah, I told you once, so I'm going to tell you again.
Literally. Did you miss it? Like, in case you missed it, I'll do it again. And I was like, Lord, I heard. I really did.
Yes, that's how he does. Like, oh, yes. I'm glad that he does.
And
I'm glad that he speaks.
I mean, I can't turn around and pretend I didn't hear it this time. So I'm like, Lord,
Right.
I will be obedient. But yeah, no, thank you so much for speaking with me again and taking this time out in the middle of your day. I really hope you have a good rest of your day. And I'll be in touch again with you soon. But yeah, let me know if there's anything else, like, before we close, that you would like us to know, you think that we should, like, understand about you, maybe shout yourself out. You know, just feel free.
You can follow me on all platforms. It's at Risha Leondra, RISHALEONDRA, RishaLeondra.com. All that, you can find out more information. My podcast is 222. Literally go into wherever you listen to podcasts, just type in the number 222 and it should come up. Hopefully it comes up. But yeah, that's where you can hear more, I guess, talk about or talk to creative entrepreneurs, just to be an encouragement and to help us along the way. Those are definitely the ways to be able to get in contact with me. And and just thank you again so much for this. I love the platform that you're wanting to speak to women, but also to women in this genre, and that's really encouraging. That there's more of us. So
exactly, yeah.
But also too that people that are about their business and about the Lord, the biggest thing. So I appreciate you big time.
Thank you so much. Oh, that means so much. That means so much. You know, when you followed someone on Twitter for ages and then you're like finally speaking to them and you're like, this is kind of crazy. So yeah, thank you so much.
I fully understand because I feel the same. I know we've been following each other for a while. So it's good to finally be able to connect.
Yeah, honestly, for sure. And good luck with everything. 2020 is your year. It's going to be great.
Yes, 2020 is our year.
Yeah.
What he's doing, he's got us in the next year and all the years to come. So it's just going to get better with time. So yes, girl, thank you so much.
No worries. I'll speak to you later.
So thank you for listening to this episode of SheHH. Don't forget to like and share and follow us on Instagram at she.h.h and check out more of my stuff on paulamelissa.com. If you would like to join our CHH Music WhatsApp group chat, check out the link in the description box if you're listening to this on YouTube, or the link in the post if you're listening to this from my blog. I'll see you next time. Bye!